This video will introduce different types of placement nodes in MyArmy and show the usage of inverse placement and related settings. Switch the Place Type to Line mode for the placement node type. Adjust the parameters to create a wave-like pattern for the placement layout. Line type deals with the type of linear placement, while line range adjusts the angle of linear placement. Switch the Place Type to Arrow for the placement node type. Arrow type sets the angle of arrow placement, while arrow range adds an offset to arrow placement. Switch the Place Type to Triangle mode for the placement node type and modify some parameters to observe the result. Switch the Place Type to Circle mode for the placement node type. Circle Hollow determines if the placement node fills the circular volume, while Circle Range adjusts the angle of circular placement. Next, we will demonstrate the inverse placement feature of placement nodes. First, place an agent, and make adjustments to its position. While keeping the agent selected, click on MyArmy-Inverse Place node to create an inverse placement blueprint node in the current project directory. Delete the agent character from the scene, and then drag the newly and inversely generated placement node into the scene. Reset its position information to 0. With the inverse placement node selected in the scene, you can place agent characters just like with other placement nodes. Note that some parameters of the inverse node may not be adjustable. In the inverse placement node, you can check Custom Type Class, and it enables to change the class that the inverse node has recorded. You can then reassign agents class accordingly. In the inverse placement node, you can check Custom Type Orient, and it enables to change the orientation recorded by the inverse node. You can then set the agent's orientations based on the node parameters. Next, let's explore more of the detailed parameters in placement nodes. Display number determines whether to display the corresponding ID of each placer. Number size sets the size of the displayed ID, and arrow length sets the length of the arrow component. Placement nodes typically use a fixed random method to ensure consistent placement results. You can adjust the seed to change the random result. Inverse placement nodes have the recorded information, they are stored in the custom datas array. You can expand this array and make changes to specific character information.